Hello and welcome to Wishlist Roulette, episode 14. This is a recap of Solaris Command, which is the latest game we played that we rolled randomly on our spinny wheel of games. This is what I like to call a real-time strategy game, which is where you put in commands and they take a long time in real time to happen, in a lot of games, it can take hours to move across the map, so you're just putting in a couple commands a day, waiting for them to happen, things like that. In this game, it's slightly different. This is an interesting one. These squares represent your ships. So this is an example completed game where my opponent went AFK and lost the game for that reason. Unfortunately, he picked the same color as me. This game looks very striking when you have like different colored enemies. The players choose different colors. It is a PvP game. All the other forces you're fighting are other players. He picked literally the same color as me. So this is my territory. This kind of highlighted red, like brick red, and he picked the same color. So right in here, this is his territory. So these squares represent, I guess, fleets of ships, and you put in a movement path for them. Like you see this Corvette here, I've put in a movement path for it to go over these two hexes. Once per hour, they move one hex, each ship. And you get different speeds because they have different amounts of movement points. Like this Corvette has 10 movement points, you can see right here. This destroyer has 7. This battle cruiser has 7. Light cruiser has 7. His heavy cruiser has 6. Destroyer has 7. So they run out, and those movement points refresh every day. So your fast ships, all ships move at the same speed, but then faster ships have a lot more movement they can do in a day before it recharges. This is a 2-player game. This game seems like it's meant to be played with multiple players, like 8 players or something on a bigger map. It has a very small population, though. It's in an early state, like an early access or something. It's not in early access. It's a browser game. It's not on Steam. There's not much of a player base. I think there was in the past during some explicit testing days. It seems like you could have gotten a full game in with like 8 players or something. Now that doesn't seem possible, but you can get a 1v1 match, although my opponent went AFK and lost. Although just logging in just now, I realized that he said, this game drives me crazy. Why did it put me AFK? So he maybe thought he wasn't gone that long, and it made him forfeit. It said he was AFK and made him forfeit. So the way it works is, so maybe you can't even get a 1v1 match going. My first attempt here, my guy went AFK. So the way it works is you start with a home planet, which is the star. You can conquer other planets by moving to them, like this symbol is a planet. So this is a debris field. This is a planet. Each planet gives you victory points and also extends your supply network. You have to have your ships in supply in order to recharge their movement points and stuff, which is pretty cool. You can build ships around your planets, and this is see this little hex inside the hex? That's a space station I built that extends your supply range. So like your planet has a range of, however many, 6 or something, and then this extends the range. I did that because there's a planet right here under his heavy cruiser that I conquered before, but it was out of range of supply, so I kind of had to retreat from it because my fleets aren't going to be able to stay there. So then I built this so that I could attack the planet again and conquer it again, hopefully, and have my ships be able to actually occupy it. If you look at your ships, these little squares, I think they sort of represent a ship in your fleet or a group of ships in your fleet, and they act as like hit points during battles. They're called stands. This game I don't know if that's a hex encounter wargame thing, like tabletop hex encounter wargames. This game's, if you read about it, the game really takes inspiration from those hex encounter tabletop wargames, which is why these are squares. They have information in the corners and numbers and stuff and markings on them, very similar to a hex encounter wargame. These stands that have symbols in them are called specialists that give your ship abilities, or maybe some abilities, but bonuses. Like, it's not telling me what these are, but like, see, it tells me this little sideways lightning bolt is giving me 5 attack, and this square here is giving me 1 attack, 3 defense, and 1 shock value. Shock value is like if you're a heavy ship fighting a smaller ship and you have a higher shock value than them, you do bonus damage. So you get money every day, like, and I'm talking real-time days here, from your planets that you can then spend, and you get victory points too. So you're trying to get 100 victory points. You spend the money to hire new ships, build space stations, buy new stands for your units, meaning new ships in this in these battle groups or whatever they may represent. Like, I feel like this is like a group of light cruisers, and when you hire a new stand, it joins the group. It's like I have 4 light cruisers in a battle group here. Then you fly them around. You can schedule an attack. Attacks happen at the top of the hour before movement happens. So yeah, we're talking real-time days and hours here. Like, say I move this light cruiser like here, 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 and then attack here. It would take first hour, second hour, third hour. Then at the top of the 4th hour, attack. And then all the next movements would happen. You can also there's zones of control around a lot of your ships. Actually, you can toggle it on and off right here. You can see the zones of control that enemies, it might stop them, but I think it just makes the movement points double, so they could still move through like these empty spaces, which only cost a movement point to get through anyway. But like trying to fly through some of these other like debris fields and industrial zones costs a lot of movement points to move into that in the first place. So if you have a zone of control over that, it's double the movement points. It's going to be like impossible to move through this, or very slow moving because your destroyer is like guarding it. The attacks go through a calculation of attack versus defense onto a chart, which I don't have up here. There's like a results chart. That is very much like a hex encounter war game. It's based on the ratio of the attack to the defense, and it shows you how many of these stands, aka these little squares, are damaged in the battle on each side. So like you attack this guy, if he's got a lot of firepower or he's got a lot of defense, he's actually going to damage you back when you attack him. These actually are repaired every day if you're in supply of your planets and space stations. So keep them in supply, retreat, you can heal up. If you want to totally take something out, you got to destroy the whole thing, in a day or chase it down. I think that's most of the main mechanics. These ships have this lightning bolt is called action points. Every ship has 1. There are some ways to get more than 1. And they let you do an attack. So the ship can do 1 attack per day. Does this really have 5? No, I don't think so. I think that's telling you its attack is 5, yes. So you see here its attack is 5, and that's per ship. Plus its bonuses, which I think is 2, so it's like 7 per ship times 4 equals 28. So this is like the base stat plus the bonuses times the number of ships is the number in parentheses. Same for defense. So it's a cool game. It's a different take on the real-time strategy game in that a lot of the ones I've played, there's no grid or hex map at all. So you're moving usually between like territories or something, and the units progress in real time. Like some of the, I played Subterfuge and I played Iron Order 1919 or 1917, whatever it's called. Both are really cool games. Say I moved like this guy to here. It would just tell me that's going to take 12 hours, and over the course of 12 hours, he would slowly be advancing along that line. In this, you have these specific hex grids, and if I did the same move, I'd be moving him. I'd draw a path like through these hexes like this, and every hour would be like first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour. I like that. It's a really cool idea. The game's a little quirky. The main thing is like it's missing like tooltips and information. A lot of the information you got to go looking for, and it should be in tooltips or more clearly available. And it's clear that I think the intent was to make all those things clearer. The dev has said he's stopped working on this for the time being. This is sort of a spin-off of a game called Solaris, just Solaris, which I think is more like the games I was just describing. And this one's called Solaris Command. It's a little more granular, little lower scale. Like the normal Solaris game is like galaxy-wide battles. You're going through all these star systems and your huge fleets are clashing, like giant fleet battles. And this is like almost like a zoomed-in version of that. Some people have even said like this is like the battles that happen inside those battles. Like you're sending... I haven't played the main game Solaris, but you know, you send a huge fleet in, and this is almost like a zoom in on one part of that battle, is what some people have said. I think Solaris is actively developed, but development on Command has stopped, possibly to resume in the future. I think just because of dev priorities. I think it's like, you know, super small team working on this game. But the other game I think I did put on my list. Bottom line was, once I started playing it, it is very neat. It is pretty cool. I wish it was a little easier to play with more tooltips explaining everything, and not just tooltips, but everything should be explained a little bit better with more information on screen, I think. Although it's doable and it makes sense. It's all there if you dig into it. But it definitely needs more work. I realized when I was playing it, I don't think I want to play a real-time strategy game right now. I was a little like, yeah, I'm in the mood for a little more instant action at the moment. Although I could tell this is a cool game, or it could be really good if it like hit like a quote-unquote 1.0 status where things were cleaned up a little bit. And it had a player base. Like the 8-player games would probably be the way to go. And then my opponent AFK'd, and I won. I was going to finish the game. I was going to be a gentleman and finish the game, even though I wasn't totally feeling it. But then my opponent AFK'd anyway, and I won the match. I don't know how I was doing. I think it sounded like he had played some games in the past, so he's probably going to beat me. But I was able to rush over here, take the hit. This was sort of like the planet he should take, and this was like the one I should take. I took the one I should take, and I ran over and took his too. Although, like I said, I had to retreat because the ships that took it weren't supplied, and then I got this space station online so that I could supply them and try to do a counterattack. And then I snuck this fast ship up here with the hopes of sneakily taking his home planet, which that's a big deal. If somebody sneaks in and takes your home planet, cuts your whole supply network, and unless they can take it back quickly, they're probably going to lose. So I was trying to do that as well. I think I would have liked this better if it was just a straight-up turn-based game, since it essentially is a turn-based game. It's just the turns automatically progress once per hour. I think I would have liked it better if it was just straight-up turn-based game. I was feeling more instant action like that. The 1 hour thing makes a lot more sense when you have 8 players, and it just because it'll, instead of waiting forever for people to take their turn, it's just going to go. So cool concept. Maybe I would have liked it better if I got into an 8-player game. I might even still be sticking with it. But basically, I played, a small portion of this one game. I had 9 out of 100 victory points, although maybe I could have crushed him if I actually did take this planet. But some of his ships are really beefy, though. Like, that one has 40 attack. This one has 48 attack. That's a ton. Mine have 28, 30. So maybe he probably would have been able to easily go take it back and build more fleets. And I might have even had trouble, say he couldn't do that for some reason, I might have even had trouble taking out his 3 other ships just because they're so beefy. Not that one, but these ones. But anyway, it was fun while it lasted. It's a great idea. I wish I could have gotten to an 8-player game, but that doesn't seem possible at the moment. Maybe if it gets more development love in the future, players will come back to it, and it might be worth revisiting. But cool concept, cool execution. There's another game I played recently that was like this too, where turns advance once per hour. I like that concept a lot, and I feel like it could work in certain situations. Even in this game, it would work really cool, probably in an 8-player game or whatever, or even more players. I forget how high it goes. It might even go higher than that, like 30 or something. A lot of these games are very high multiplayer. Like Subterfuge is like, I don't know, is it 10 or 20 players? I'm not sure. Haven't played that in a while. Iron Order is like tons of players. It could be like 50 or 100 or something players at once. Although a lot of them end up being bots, but theoretically it could fill up with that. So, yeah. Wish I could have gotten to the 8-player game, but cool concept. I wish this guy had chosen purple or something. The map just looks cool when you have, imagine a giant map like this with 8 colors as people take territory. Is really cool. But, yeah, I enjoyed playing it. Love the concept. Maybe would try it again if I see that it's, suddenly get a boost in the player base. Because I did enjoy the concept. But regular Solaris has a turn-based mode you can activate instead of it being real time. Real time. And it'd be cool if they made that in this too. Maybe. Then maybe some asynchronous multiplayer going on that way instead of the real-time asynchronous multiplayer. But then again, it would be cool to play it with a large amount of players. But I'm just repeating myself over and over. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll have more spins soon.